Okay, so talk to me. What kind of things are you working on right
So right now, I was working on my Support One mini stories that went along with it. I wrote about one play date that my friend said, "Oh, Henry, if you move, my life will be over."
now?
And then I thought to myself, here, let me check. This is my Support One. After a while playing, he sighed. "Henry, if you ever leave this town, my life will basically stop." That made me think that if I do have to move, that the hardest hit person was going to be him. When we went down the stairs to get a snack, he said to his mom, "Mom, if Henry ever leaves to go to another state, who am I going to be? Who am I
Mm-hmm.
going to be best friends with?" She said, "Honey, you'll figure something out. You're my little Superman." Now that made me laugh. "Mom," he said, all embarrassed, "you aren't supposed to say that in public." I took a visit back to Maryland once, but still, all of my friends' hearts have a mark that will never go away. The mark is from the feeling of loss of someone that shaped your childhood.
Wow. Henry, that part, I mean, all of what you just read is so beautiful, but especially what you did when you were talking about the mark left on the heart. It's honestly breathtaking. A metaphor, if you've heard of that before, right? Where you're comparing something like a concept like loss to something else, right? And you're making it really vivid and concrete. And I don't know if you noticed, but when you were reading that, I touched my heart because I was like, oh, I know that feeling of having that mark. You have such a way of doing that. You need to keep doing it. And in fact, I think I'm going to set you up to teach some of the other writers in our group how to do that because you have such a talent for it. Do you think you would be down for that to teach others?
Yeah, sure.
Here's the one tip that I would give you is every single detail that you tell in your mini story has to be really purposeful. It has to relate to your point that you're proving. So like one example that I just might give you just to get you thinking is when you had the moment of like, you will figure something out, you're my little Superman, and now that made me laugh. Mom, you aren't just supposed to say that in public. I mean, Henry, it's the most hilarious, amazing detail. But that's the kind of detail that you would include if you were telling it like a narrative, like a story, right? This is a mini story, but for an essay. And I don't know if you're not supposed to say that in public, if that detail really proves your point, which is that it's hard for the kids left behind. Does that make sense?
Okay, and I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about now how I can change that to support the claim and support the support
Exactly.
at the same time. So
Exactly.
today we are going to talk about thinking deeper in your texts. And so the first step in trying to change your paragraphs or change your little bits is to go back into your previous writing and a line or a paragraph that is kind of basic or that could be more special and especially one that tells, not shows. Step two, and by the way, if you don't want to keep going down the line, you can pause the video there after step one and then keep going on after you finish that step. So step two, and after you find that line, think, how can I change it to make the reader feel that you feel that certain way inside deep down? And I was like, and it make the reader see an image or a symbol. And also the last step. And when you change it, think, is or does this relate to my claim or my topic? You have to have it supporting or you have to have it going along with your claim or your support. And another way is when you have something like, I bet he will be sad forever. Like that's a basic, or that could be more special, right? And one thing you could do, like it says here, you could say, think how, what, or how have I, or when have I seen this, or when have I seen something, or when have I read something that goes perfect with this situation, that goes perfect with this claim, or with this little bit that can go along with something big. And when I did that, I came up with, since I bet he'll be sad forever. I can change it to, all of them had a mark on their hearts. A mark that you've lost something that shapes the year, or shapes those many years. You have to think, does this go good with my claim, or does this go good with my support? Because if it doesn't, then you're just going to have a lame old, you're just going to have a plain sentence that doesn't go along, or doesn't show your claim, or doesn't show your support. And so the big thing here is, let's see, if you have this tiny little pebble, this is your little bit, or this is your little paragraph. You can stretch it out, or you can make it show the reader that that is what you're thinking, or that is why I think, or this is why I think that, or this is why or this is why many people think that. And so when you're doing that, you have to remember one phrase. So like if you're just typing down, I want you to remember one phrase. Show, not tell. I know you've heard that before, but now I know it's true. You have to show the reader what you're thinking. You can't just tell them. Like, you can't just say, I know he'll be sad forever. You have to say, like, there's a mark on his heart, or there's a mark on their heart. You have to show, not tell the reader what you're thinking. Now go do that work.